and we are really excited. All right, so we have Leanne with us, and we have both been doing an amazing thing called Rise Up. And it's a new series, and it's all about female leadership and empowerment. So Leanne, do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
You know, when I first started hearing the concept of Rise Up in the airways of our house, and I was hearing the conversations going on, I couldn't help myself. This conversation is so irresistible and so significant and so important for our young athletes, especially our young female athletes, that I just kept sneaking my way into it. And ultimately, Karli, I have to say, I feel so privileged that I get to join you on this conversation, partially because I know what a stand you are for young women, and really people in general. But the idea of Rise Up for young female athletes at Scottish United is powerful, like knock your socks off, powerful. So in one of our early conversations, Karli and I were brainstorming about, what does this mean? What does this mean to Karli? What does this mean to me? What does this mean for the club? And ultimately, I think it's a safe place for girls to be recognized, to be seen and heard, and voice themselves, express themselves in a way that they know they're being received. They are part of this conversation. In fact, they're integral to this conversation. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. And I just have to touch back just because I'm laughing in my head when you said like you couldn't help but be a part of this.
Yeah.
And it was it was so funny just in the beginning kind of conversations about this new series and just talking amongst staff members. If some of you aren't aware, Dave McCarthy is one of our staff members, and Leanne McCarthy happens to be his wife. And me and Dave were just chatting and kind of brainstorming ideas and things like that. And Leanne would come and just like place a note by Dave, and Dave was like, "Hold on 1 minute. Just 1 second. I just have some information I got to share with you from Leanne." And always with Leanne, like she has so much to say, like wonderful things to say, and so insightful. So honestly, like I couldn't pick a better person to be doing this with me. And I just love that because she is so passionate and always um, wants to build our next generation of young female athletes. So it just made me laugh because every time that you bring that up, Dave is always just laughing so hard about, Leanne can't help but be a part of this because she's just too passionate. So to all of this, and they not only do they have so much to learn, but they have so much to teach us. And I feel like that's something that we learned last night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, and there are many layers to this too, isn't there, Karli? Like there's the on-field female soccer experience. And one of the motivations for doing this Rise Up series, it will start as a series. And one of the main reasons for doing that is to really enrich and improve and fill out the female soccer players' experience so that it's a positive one, so that they feel like they can express themselves both on the field and off the field, so they feel like valuable members of the Scottish United community. Because really, we're building a community here, and community is so important for young female athletes. And again, that's something that came out last night in echoes many girls over and over were sharing about how soccer is such a powerful way for them to fulfill that social aspect of who girls and females and women really are. We're connectors, and we need to be connected to other people. So that's a big part of it. And then the second part of it that's really important is, what do they do with the skills that they learn at soccer? And how can they translate that then beyond the field, off the pitch, out in their lives, and bring that strength that they've gotten through this soccer experience and demonstrate that confidently in the other areas of their life, so that they can feel self-expressed and success in other areas too. I think that that is a huge part of what we're doing.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from last night? So last night, just to give you some background, in case you're new to this, we had our first Rise Up session, and it was amazing. Honestly, it couldn't have gone better. In my head, I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea what the need was, if these girls would really buy in, and they did. So
Oh, did
last
they
night we
ever?
had 140 girls on our Zoom meeting, and they ranged from, I think, 6 years old to 18.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
huge range of girls. I was actually just talking to Junior. He of all of the tech side, or most of the tech side, a lot of Fitba TV for us. And I was just saying, we were like super nervous that we didn't have the chat function. And we're like,
It
we don't
worked
know
out.
how comfortable they're gonna be without it, like if they're gonna want to speak up. And I think you can touch on this, but wow, did they really surprise me.
Well, you know what? I think it speaks to the human nature of just being adaptable. I mean, we've seen that all through this past year, 2020, and we all adapted to so many things. And that's sort of a sidebar. So yeah, we didn't have the chat, but that did not deter the girls from sharing. I was really impressed upon with how many virtual hand raises we had. We had a list ongoing there. We were never waiting for the next athlete to step up and share what was on her heart and what was really important to her. And we didn't even get to all of the people who wanted to comment. We probably could have kept going and kept going. And so what that really tells me is what an enormous need there is for girls to be heard. They want to be heard. They are not being heard enough. And not that that's coming from a place of there's something wrong, but rather look how far we can go together. And so it shows me how important this Rise Up community is, and what you have created, and what I get to help you create moving
What
forward
we
is,
created.
well, thank you, yes. What we have created, and what the girls are creating with us now, it's needed. They need this, and we need this for them.
And I really don't think there could be a better time, or a time where they need it more, especially with, our situation with COVID, and, not being able to see each other, not being able to be at practice, be at games together. I think now more than ever, this has shown that, these girls need connection. They need their teammates, they need their friends. It's one of the main reasons that we play soccer. So it
Mm-hmm.
was so interesting to see that.
Karli, something happened at the end of the call last night that was extraordinary, and I know that you were really moved by it. And I wonder if you can speak on it, because it's a huge part of the female athlete culture in Scottish United, and it's something that I know that we all would like to see more of. And do you remember there was an athlete, a younger athlete, that made a call out to some older players? Would you like to describe that situation?
Yeah, so if it's what I think it is,
I think
um,
it's what you think it is.
so one of our younger athletes actually was on the call with two of her coaches. So just this past season, two of our U19 female players started helping coach one of the younger teams. And the younger player actually, raised her hand, reached out, and wanted to acknowledge her coaches and thank
Mhm.
them for coaching her team. She said it was amazing to be coached by females. And yeah, she just won for like a 10-year, no, how old was she? 11-year-old to,
She was in that range. Yeah.
yeah, for her to do that, that is amazing for her to acknowledge, all right,
Mhm.
someone old. I don't know, me as a 10 or 11-year-old, I was a little timid. I would have thought those things, but I didn't always say them. And
Mhm.
for for me last night, seeing a 6-year-old, which happens to be Leanne McCarthy's daughter, ask a
She's
question.
quite remarkable.
I wonder where she gets it from. But
Well,
honestly, it's so cool, and I think, they already are amazing, like, they can only go up from here. So,
mhm. That's true. That's true. And thank you for saying that they already are amazing. That is, there's nothing more accurate than that. They already are brilliant. They already have this beautiful light and this beautiful spark and these beautiful ideas and this leadership and the desires to be part of this togetherness, this community. It's already in them. And I think kind of as adults, it's our job or our responsibility to draw that out, to create this safe space for them. And it has to be a safe space. And I think that they really stepped into it last night.
well, it's funny you
The,
say
the,
that because no, go ahead, sorry, I don't wanna interrupt you.
oh, I just wanted to say that the leadership was quite extraordinary, even from, my daughter Annalena, who is 6, who raised her hand, which kind of blew my mind a little bit. But like her ability to stand in her own power last night, that was powerful for me, and I suspect it was for other people too. Um, but it's it's how they're playing off each other that really shows that leadership. It's leadership going up to say thank you. It's leadership coming down to say, I have these skills and I want to share them with you. Um, and that's the community. Anyway, what were you going to say?
No, I have a new thing to say now because you
Yeah.
sparked, like, a little
Oh,
inspiration. But it was really cool after the talk because I got a few emails because we just didn't have time to finish. So we just told girls that, you know what, if you still want to, let us know what you wanted to say or the feedback that you had, just you can email us.
mhm.
And it was really cool just to see some of the feedback was like, it was amazing that I could relate to every single person that talked, regardless of what the age they were. Um, like I think it just shows how connected we are, how united we are. And I think it will bring us closer together once we are back in person and we see each other in the dome. And, we're
Mhm.
building that community online, but I think it's going to move into the real world really fast.
Yeah, and there's a lot of possibility in different ways that this can grow into. We've already kind of thrown a few of those ideas around.
Yeah. And yeah, the thing that came to me from before um, was that I just think it's really important that as adults, we step aside and realize the leadership skills that these kids already have. I was telling Leanne earlier today, we were chatting, and I said, okay, when I was initially told, or like, let's brainstorm, female leadership, like how can we bring this to our club? And I like Google life skills that young females need to learn. And I'm writing down.
We always start with Google, right?
Honestly, like I laugh about it now because it was so superficial. Not to say that there isn't a place for that and that it can't have a positive impact, because it can. We could have, had a presentation, and we could have led a little presentation on resiliency or a presentation on communication, and it could have all came from us, and they had no chance to talk, and it's all, we know better, you need to learn from us. And that was kind of my mentality, not that we know better and you need to learn from us, but that, okay, we need to know all of this information and we need to share it with them. And in reality, they're teaching me more than I could ever teach them. So this is like a mutually beneficial relationship here. They're making me a way better person and a way better coach. And yeah, it's just like, we should be on a level playing field. It shouldn't be like, because we're older, we're up here, because, we have been through university, or we've been through, I've been in the workforce for this long, so I know better. It's like, no, we need to be on the same playing field, and we need to learn from each other. And that's, luckily, I'm very happy that that is what Rise Up has become, because it's so much more powerful than what I had initially planned. And a lot of that comes from you. So I just want to thank you. You like bring out the best in me. So thank you.
That makes me feel really happy. Thank you. I appreciate your saying that. See, now your compliment just threw me right off track. See, all it takes is a little nice, thing. But I think, what we're doing is that we're all moving in the same direction, right? We're all moving in the same direction, and we're all moving together. And what you just described really shows the power of listening. And when we listen, when we actively listen, we do that to learn and to accept and to engage. And when we're listening, we can learn. And I want to acknowledge you. I was going to do this before you complimented me, by the way. I want to acknowledge
I threw you off.
I know, right? Because you are a curious person, and you are a very good listener for what's actually there, for what people need to deal with. And I think that this is what makes you such a powerful leader for girls. And if you're okay with this, I would really like to give you the opportunity, because it's so powerful, to share what your vision is and what your motivation is for doing this and for being a coach. Like, this is not just I want to do Rise Up. This is like, I'm Karli Hedlund. This is who I am for life and for people. Do you mind just speaking into that? Because I would really love people to see that beautiful heart of yours.
You're so kind. Way to put me on the spot.
See, this is what girls do. We just love best each other. This is how it should be. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, honestly, like, ever since I started coaching, it's always been more about like mentorship and giving back. And I honestly, I love soccer. Of course I love soccer, but I get more out of really impacting their lives. Like, I want them to learn way more than the tactics of soccer, than how do we play a 4-4-2, then, like, those things in the long run are not important. And I just want them to grow up and be really awesome people. And this Rise Up series, even just we've done one session, and it makes me so excited because I feel like that's what we're doing. And it's not us doing it, like it's just the environment that we're providing for them. But I couldn't be more excited to be a part of that.
You know what, though, this is the perfect, that's so perfect what you say, and it's perfect that you're part of soccer, because really when we look at what the game is and team sports is, we really understand, if we're wise to look at it this way, we can understand that we never achieve anything great on our own. We're always better together. When we have a team around us, we always rise faster. We get more done. We come forward with more empowerment. And like Abby Wambach said, we both have listened to the same podcast this week, and Abby Wambach was talking on this podcast, and maybe we'll get into that in a little bit because it was incredible. But she says, no one has ever scored a goal without their teammates. And that just says it right there. We're better together. And that's not just a soccer thing, though it fits perfectly into our culture here, but it's also a life thing. When you get off the pitch and get into the other parts of your life, we're still better together. You still need a team to rise up with and to tackle life with and to be arm in arm with. And I really see you as a strong advocate for that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I just have to do a shout out to that podcast because I know we don't have we're not getting any benefits from this or anything, but that podcast was amazing. I loved it so much. I got so much out of it, and I think a lot of other people would. So it's Dare to Lead by Brene Brown, and it's the Abby Wambach episode. And it was so powerful. And yeah, like you said, I don't know. I've tried to do things on my own before and been like, I can do it. I don't need anybody. And I'm still stubborn like that sometimes. Ask my family or, anyone close to me and they'll tell you that. But you just realize it's so much easier to do it as a team, to do it as, a partnership, or to, use the people around you, build them up and let them build you up. And the energy and inspiration you can get from others and you can give others is so much more than you can do on your own. So yeah.
Yeah, and we're all different. We have different things to contribute to each other. One thing that she said in that interview that was really powerful, really forward thinking, and I believe is going to be the anthem that shifts the world in a good direction. And this applies to soccer and coaching and being a leader on the field, but also to life. And she says, there is no more important time than now to find leadership based on honor. And what that means to me is that we're honoring the people beside us. We're honoring the people on the bench. We're honoring the referees on the field. We're honoring, so from wherever we are leading with honor and respect and seeing what other people have to offer that we might not have in our own toolbox, in our own wheelhouse, which really is why we're better together, right? Because Karli, you have so many qualities that I don't have, and I have strengths that maybe you don't have. And so when we come together on this, not only is it way more fun, but you and I are more powerful together.
Leanne is the best note taker, and I not so much. And as Dave says, her grammar is the best. So no, it's true. It's we can't all be good at everything. Just doesn't work that way. And why not focus on the things that you are good at and that come naturally and are a little bit more enjoyable than to be like, I gotta be able to do this on my own. Like, it's easier to just be like, hey, Leanne, you like this, you enjoy doing this, you're great at it, can you help me out? And I can help you out in this way.
Yeah, like
What
when we
else?
collaborate together and share our skills instead of being competitive with each other. Because the competitiveness, it doesn't work. You don't get very far. But if we work together and collaborate, we can go wherever we want. We can accomplish anything.
I think
We're
there's
not.
something about that I think, like we talked earlier about kind of breaking down those stereotypes and breaking down how female athletes might be perceived, how female sport might be perceived, how females in general might be perceived. And I think that is also part of this conversation. Is like, you know, how can we start to once just begin the conversation? Because sometimes these things just go unnoticed and they're so part of our everyday lives that you know, it takes some recognition, like you really have to pay attention for you to see these things. And then you have to think, like, you have to reflect a little bit and be like,
A lot.
why is this happening? Okay, a lot, right? Like, why is
But
this
that's how we all grow.
happening?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that will definitely be part of this series as well. And I know you feel strongly about that as well.
I do. I do feel strongly about that. And I don't want to get all, down on anything. I don't feel that's a productive way to focus on what's wrong. And I do very much like to move forward and create. That's very much in my nature, just create and come out with new ideas and expand from there. But I also think that, let's get really honest. There is a problem. There's something here to overcome. There's an imbalance right now that I hope is this what you were alluding to?
Yes.
There's an imbalance toward
Yeah.
what women are dealing with in life and what females in general and what our young girls are growing up into that right now doesn't work. It's not working, and it's not working because it's imbalanced. So we've had like this hyper explosion of masculine energy, and it's just gone too far off course. It's like anything in the extremes doesn't really function very well. So the kind of uphill battle that we have as women with a kind of more of a lean to the feminine energy is that we have to fight for everything. And sometimes we don't even know what we have to fight with or fight for because we're so programmed to not fight and not make a noise and not push back and not like just to really be very good little girls.
What did I what is her name? Honestly, just saying that was like sparked. It was just another thing that I watched. Her name is Rachel Hollis, and yeah,
Oh
she said
yeah.
that exact same thing. That, you
Yeah.
know, growing up, it was like, be quiet, little girl. No, it's not your time to talk, little girl. And just like, you know, being put into like a little box where I just really want the girls in Rise Up to be brave and courageous and just speak, you know, what they truly believe in. And they've already been doing it. Like yesterday they were doing it, and you know, just building that confidence is so important, just because you're faced with so many different circumstances and situations in life, and it comes up all the time. Like we've talked about it even just with like coaching licenses and things like that, where you could be a confident person, but you're in a coaching course or license with 99% men, or this is what what I've experienced, and I feel like I'm relatively confident, and I have decent experience in the game, decent playing experience. Yet, okay, it's my turn to like go out and run a session, and you're like, oh, you get nervous, and and part of that is that one, courses are filled with 99% guys, which we need to switch that. We need to change that. We need more girls, more females coaching. But again, it's like some people are not going to take that chance. They're not going to go and run that session because they're too scared. They could be the best coach there, but they're not going to do it because they're afraid. But these girls, if we can teach them, or at least just guide them or nourish what they already have with that like leadership to, you know what, I'm confident and I'm going to go and I'm going to run that session. I'm going to do it better than all of you. Like, I just want that for them.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think one thing that you said is to kind of help them from where they're at right now so that they don't get so programmed into not being able to express themselves. And one thing that happens when we tell each other, or not when we tell each other, but when we've been told by external forces, this is who you need to be accepted, to be liked, to fit in, to really go with the system. Like we have this story being imposed upon us, and what happens is that we don't govern ourselves by our own self-expression. We fit into what we're being told to do because we want to be good. We want to please others. We want to feel loved. We want to, and so we grow up into someone else's rules, and we forget, like, that really stifles how valuable we feel about ourselves. So when we're not feeling valuable about ourselves or who we are because we have to be this way, then we don't even know how to ask for what we need and what we want. And so if we can, yes, help these girls and show them that they're safe, they can ask, that they need to ask, because what they want, what they need is valuable, and who they are is valuable, and their self-expression is valuable, and their self-expression may not fit exactly into the system that we just talked about has proven itself doesn't work. I'm trying to say this like sort of delicately without skirting it, because it's a significant problem, and then we all grow up and we have to fight against it so much. And it's worth it. And it's worth it because these girls need to move up into a space where that's not a confusion for them. That's not an obstacle for them anymore. They need to be able to move into this space where they're not distracted by who they aren't. And then they can just add what they need, what the world needs from them. Because they do have that. See, now, if you just let me go off, Karli, I could just talk for the rest of the time because I honestly feel so passionate about this.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, like, clearly, I hope you can tell how passionate we are about this, because obviously we are.
Yeah. You know what? Can I read? I wrote this down when I was taking notes. I do that. And when I was listening to that podcast with Abby Wambach and Brené Brown, in Abby's book, which is called Wolfpack, which I will be buying and reading as soon as possible, she has a call to the wolf pack, sort of like a rally cry. And can I just read it right now? Because it's awesome.
Do it. Yes.
Yeah. So she says, and let's just like feel into this, feel the power of this. This is awesome. Wear what you want, love who you want, become what you imagine, create what you need. You were never Little Red Riding Hood. You were always the wolf.
Mic drop.
Right? You're not the story. You are you. You are your own expression.
I love it.
Hmm.
You are not Little Red Riding Hood. You're always the wolf.
You've
So
always
good.
been the wolf. So ask for what you need. Demand what you need.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel like that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think that what it really does is I think it's pretty clear where we stand, where we're coming from. We are all in for these girls to really feel into their powerful selves and create who they're meant to be for this world. And I think that's pretty clear now. And it really gives a good place for us to move forward with. So I know that we have some different layers of providing opportunity for people. We've created a Facebook page. Do you want to talk about that? And then how to get in touch with us if anyone wants to continue this conversation in any way, I invite you to contact me because I am always up for it. But you know what? Why don't you talk about the Facebook group because I'm always getting the order of the words wrong.
All right. So the Facebook group is called, I have it written down so I don't get it wrong, Scottish United Girls Rise Up. So initially, the plan was for this to be a group for the girls that are participating in Rise Up. And then we realized that we're old and that none of these girls like Facebook or are on Facebook, or the young ones probably don't even know what Facebook is. So we are going to pivot a little bit, and we're going to allow, any. Well, there we go. Nate knows what Facebook is.
Where's Nate? Where's that voice coming from?
Oh, never mind. So, again, with Facebook, we are inviting, it's a private group, but if you want to join, any moms out there, any coaches out there, female coaches, we're going to post a lot of resources in there, just a lot of things that kind of spark our inspiration, things that we've learned from the girls throughout the series. And yeah, it's just kind of a place that we can put all of our thoughts and learnings. So once again, that's Scottish United Girls Rise Up. And then what else do we got? If you have any questions, yeah, there's at the bottom of the page, there's a link to our Facebook group as well. And if you have any additional questions or you just want to reach out to us personally, you can just shoot us an email. So that would work pretty easy. I think those might pop up. If they don't by the end of this, then I will just read it out.
Look at the Junior's a magician. They just
Oh
showed up out of nowhere.
I know. They just know, right? They read no, they just listened to me, I guess.
Yeah,
all right,
you
perfect. So
that.
Our emails are there if you want to reach out. And what else we got?
Oh, when is our next Rise Up live, like our Zoom chat with the girls?
So our next Zoom chat is, so we do it the first Sunday of every month. All right, is going to be our Zoom chat for the girls. Any girl from Scottish United is welcome to join. And
only girls though. No boys allowed.
No boys. Sorry guys.
No coaches allowed.
No coaches except me. But I promise I'm open to feedback, ladies. And then our next Fitba TV little chat is going to be on February 24th.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
So yeah, we've honestly, well, I won't speak for you, but I've really enjoyed myself.
It was the best. This was the best.
It was the greatest. And we hope you had as much fun as we did.
Yeah.
And yeah, follow our journey, I guess.
Yeah, and come along with it. Come join our journey.
Join it. Exactly.
Join the journey.
You know what the best news is?
What?
Is that I get to go right now to the dome and actually have a practice in person with my team. Obviously
That is the
following all
best.
of the, restrictions and requirements and everything. We're doing everything to the highest standard, but I get to see my team in person.
Oh, that's so great. I'm so excited for you. You've probably been hungry for that for ages, for somebody who's so committed to the girls and then not to be able to see them. I know Dave over here has just been like dying slowly because he just loves being with the athletes so much on the field.
And I'm just excited for them to be able to see each other, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's an exciting day.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, go enjoy that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We hope to see you soon, and we hope to connect with you soon. Thanks, Karli.
Bye. Have a great night.
Bye.